Wow. I have, in all of my, problem solving situations in my life, from nuclear reactors to aircraft, trying to solve problems through, elimination and analysis of faults. What situation is occurring when each fault occurs? You make your list. Then you start altering the list to see if you can cure the fault. Wow. So, fuck. Okay. Formula One today. I'm looking at the screen and there's no defects. Yesterday it was a fucking mess. And today, no defects. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. I have been saying since the very first day, and then I talked myself out of it. And then I would convince myself again, and then I would talk myself out of it. And then I would convince myself again, and again talk myself out of it, that it is software related. If the mirrors on the DLP chip were bad, there's no coming back from that. Okay? No defects today. None. Totally fucking bizarre. I just can't figure it out. I mean, I'm normally pretty damn good at this. You know what I mean? And all my equipment, the cable guy was here, and one of the first things he told me when we were discussing that was, he goes, "Man, you don't have any cheap equipment here." He says, "Everything you have here is top notch." He says, I don't think it's your equipment." That was one of the first things that he said. He goes, "You're not cheap," because I told him I'm not cheap. For my hobby, I go ahead and I spend the money. And he's like, "Yeah, I can see that your shit's top notch." He says, I don't, he was confused too. He was confused too. You see, he hasn't seen anything like this, but then he hasn't seen this problem on projectors. Projectors are a fairly new phenomenon for household use. What the fuck? I really expected the defects to be there today. I really did. I'm going to call Monday and tell AWOL Vision what is going on, because I'll guarantee you there's other people like me that are having these issues, okay? And this is what I do. When I buy a product and I have a problem with it, that's what I talk about. Usually when I buy a product, I mean always, 99% of the time, when I buy a product and it does what it's supposed to do, hey, you don't get fucking kudos for doing what you're supposed to do. You don't get fucking pats on the back for doing the dishes. You know what I'm saying? That's all there is to it. I'm sorry. Fuck. Wow. I just can't figure it out. I cannot, let me mute. I cannot figure this out. It is just, it is so weird. It has to be an incompatibility problem with satellite TV and the projector. So there's some signal there is a signal within the satellite signal that is causing these problems, and AWOL needs to know about it. Because I don't think it's my projector. I never have thought it was my projector. I always thought it was software. But every time I did a test and an elimination of problems, it pointed to the projector. When I'm watching my show and the artifacts are plainly there on the recording, And then I put it on this TV and there's no artifacts. And I go up to a different direct TV box even, but with the same recording, there's no artifacts. Even when they're showing on my projector, but not on any of the TVs in the house with the same recording. You see, the defects are either being recorded and are on the recording, right? When it's transmitted down from the satellite, goes into the box and gets digitally recorded, or it's digitally recorded. I'm not sure if the DVR is in the box or not. It is limited, so it probably is. So if it's in the recording, right? It should be on all the devices that are streaming that stream. The defects should show up, which took me back to the projector again. Right? I've never had a problem this hard to fucking diagnose. Really. I can't tear into the projector to see if one of the control boards is bad. I had someone come and say, I had this problem on one of my 4K TVs with squiggly lines and shit. It was one of the control boards. But he didn't say if it was a DLP chip TV. He didn't say if it was a tri-laser TV, which it wasn't. It's 4K TVs, they don't work on tri-laser systems. So this is why I keep going back to the projector, because it's different. It's tri-laser and it's DLP. The TVs are not tri-laser. They're not DLP. And there's no artifacts. And then I come back and I play the same fucking recording. And I'm literally taking a cable from as I'm watching the defects, I'm literally taking that feed and running it to this TV right here and turning it on. No defects. I unplug it. I plug it into the projector. Defects. Points to the projector. But I know I'm convinced through life experience that defects, if they're caused by heat, right, where you have expansion, Xbox Red Ring of Death, right? You got expansion and cooling causes problems. I did laser temperature measurements of the box. Nothing's running overly hot. It takes me to the box, and then I'll have a day like today, just like practice. Day before yesterday, when I watched practice, the defects were gone after replacing the box. I went, okay, it was the box. I convinced myself I had solved the problem. And then, yesterday during qualifying, the screen's a fucking mess. Takes me back to the box. I did a switch with another TV right then. No defects on the TV, only on the projector. I don't fucking know.